parents, they moved from Sweden to the United States 25 years ago.
Originally, maybe from America, but I grew up in Albania and now back. I am of Mexican descent. Both of my parents were born in Zacatecas, Mexico.
I grew up, half of my life I grew up in New York, but I was born in Sierra Leone and I lived there until the age of 6 or 7. And then my family made the trip to New York.
I grew up in America. I was born in California, and then we moved to Georgia when I was 3, but my entire life I've been in California. I mean, in America.
At home I speak Fulani with my parents, and I can easily switch to English, my friends and my siblings.
I speak Spanish mostly at home because my parents' English is a little questionable. But with my siblings I speak English.
I speak Swedish with my parents and my brother, but at school and with my friends I speak English.
At home I mostly speak German, and so we speak a dialect called Bayerisch, which is in the southern part of Germany, and then like with my friends from school I speak normal German, which is like what the government speaks and what we hear on television. But like with my grandparents and my father, I only speak Bayerisch because it's just very culturally a part of our identity.
I wish, but no, we only speak English.
I see myself as 50% German, 50% American. It definitely depends on who I'm with. If I'm with my sisters, we're mostly speaking German, and you know, we kind of see ourselves as, you know, others. But if I'm in an American class, I'm very, very proud to be American, and I think that I can kind of add to the, you know, American melting pot because I am something else.
I feel both American and Swedish because my entire heritage is Swedish, but I grew up in America, so I grew up with both cultures. So I guess I'm sort of a mix.
I'm born Muslim American, so I do see myself as a Muslim American.
I don't see myself as more one or the other. I see myself as a Mexican American, so like the best of both worlds. Like I can speak English and Spanish at home. I like cook American food, but then we also cook Mexican food. Like I celebrate both like American holidays and Mexican holidays, like Cinco de Mayo and Dia de los Muertos, but I also celebrate like 4th of July and Thanksgiving. So it's like a blend. I don't see myself as more one. I think I see myself more as American than Albanian because I've spent most of my years when I was growing up a lot in America.
I see myself as the result of two worlds. You know, I'm both West African and I'm also American.
I definitely see myself as an American because that's where I've lived my entire life. But at the same time, I'm different. Like, I'm not fully American, and everyone knows it. All the Americans are like, hey, this guy's from China. So I don't quite fit in that way, by physical appearance, but definitely my psychology and ideology is American.
And I noticed that the private school in Sierra Leone is almost equivalent to the public schools in New York City in terms of funding. In terms of teachers, the teachers here are a lot more involved, or they have a greater relationship with the students, whereas in Sierra Leone there's more like there's a distance sort of between the teacher and the student. Whereas in the United States, students are encouraged to formulate relationships with their teachers, and oftentimes we take advantage of that.
One of the main differences is as students get older, it becomes harder and harder for them to continue in their studies. For one reason, a lot of times their parents will want them home so that they can help work, whether that's on the farm or at home, housework or cooking. Sometimes the girls aren't able to go to school as often as the boys. This is when you're coming to like high school.
The difference between the American school system and the German school system is that the German school system is much more challenging. It's very hard and there's constant competition. Even in America at a younger age, people are taught to I guess learn with games and have more fun, but in Germany it's very strict and you either know the material or you don't, and you're penalized for not working hard. So from an early age in Germany, you learn to memorize and just retain all the information.
So in the classroom when I go to school, because I go to this big public American school, so the vast majority are American born and American raised students, and being half Chinese, that slightly affects my interactions with my classmates and my peers, but all in all it really doesn't.
Mexican schools are probably not as good as the public schools in the US because there's just a lot less funding for them and there's a lot more students. I guess the quality is much worse in Mexico than in the US.
I'd say in Germany I have a lot more freedoms. From a young age I've been taught just to take care of myself and all my actions reflect on myself, not my family. So I always had a lot of freedoms. I was able to make my own decisions. But then I had to suffer the consequences of my decisions and actions by myself. In America, I think that's much more supportive, and I think failures are kind of more embraced in America while they're very heavily avoided in Germany. It's very much like you either do something right or you don't.
Mexican culture, there's a lot more focus on the family. Like you're encouraged to all stay together and live with each other and one giant unit, but here, in America, everyone's focused on the individual, so you're expected to leave once you have a job. You're not going to come back home and live with your parents, but in Mexico, it's totally okay for you to do that and to live with your parents for as long as you want. My cousin and his wife still live with their parents in Mexico, and it's not frowned upon at all.
At home, my parents being immigrants from Sweden affects my family culture because I grew up bilingual.
There are a lot of differences in the culture between Albania and America. One of the main differences is hospitality in Albania, and I found in Morocco also.
It's like Morocco where it's like the family gets together and they eat together. Religion plays a big part, I would say bigger part in our lives than the average American. Definitely, religion's a huge part of it. Every Sunday I would go to Sunday school at the masjid.